which you had to fill out when you got the session, and we're just gonna set the foundation.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna like focus on the long-term stuff first,
Okay.
and then we're gonna go into your VOD for the remainder of the time, and that's when we'll pick apart some short-term stuff. But the main focus is always going to be long-term. And you said in your form that you have professional aspirations, which is why I'm making this priority. So the VOD today doesn't actually have like isn't actually the most important part of what we'll be talking about. Okay?
Okay. All right.
Good. So the first question that I always like to ask is what are you doing here? Like why do you want to go pro?
Uh, I just find a lot of joy from being really good at something,
Are
and
you gonna give me an example of something that you've been really, really good at before?
yeah, I'm an artist, so I draw and paint. Um,
Mm. You draw and
um,
paint.
yes,
You
uh,
draw and paint or in paint?
draw and paint.
Okay, I
So
thought you were using fucking Microsoft Paint to do art. Okay.
no. But
Okay, okay, okay.
I'm an amateur artist with. I'm getting close to becoming professional. So
Ooh. Fancy.
yeah. Um,
Okay.
so that seems like a lot of fun, and also I've had some experience working with a team in this specific game,
Mm-hmm.
and the games that I play when we are a team going up against another team is just it's a different game than
Mm-hmm.
playing ladder, and I enjoy that other game more.
So why do you have to go pro in order to be able to play with a team though? Sounds
I
a little
guess
excessive.
I don't, but the advantage of I don't know, just being able to um, gain income from playing would allow me to
Oh,
dedicate
so it's
more
a
time.
so it's a money thing, pretty
Uh,
much.
yeah, allowing me to if I start getting money from this, then that would free up time for me to put more time into the game, which is what I want.
Okay. So you okay. No, that's fair. Money is a pretty valid reason. You're not gonna get rich doing it,
Don't expect
but
to.
yeah. I mean, I think the important thing is that you have to understand is that right now you are very, 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 very far away from actually making a single dime on this game.
I'm
Um,
aware of that.
so, but here's the important thing: the most, and this isn't even Overwatch specific. This is something that I've learned regarding everything in life. Honestly, the
Mm-hmm.
most valuable currency is time, and what I mean by that is look at it like this. Okay, um, let's say you are in a competition. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you're in a competition, and there are multiple leagues, right? There's like the lowest league, like tier three, and then there's tier two, and then there's the big league, they're tier one. Okay, and you start with all of the others right from the get go. You're not the most talented, so you start in tier three. Okay, and you're not really like improving a lot. You're just kind of maintaining your level of skill. You can hold your breath against all of the other people participating. Okay, now
Mm-hmm.
the reason time is so important is because as long as you can keep up with all of the others, you are eventually going to reach tier one no matter what, as long as you give it enough time. Because of two things. Okay? Either players are going to quit because they're unhappy, and obviously, in case someone quits, that slot is going to be filled with the most qualified person, aka the person with the most experience, the person who's put in the most time. Okay, so that's how you can go up, and you go up by poaching, which is when higher tiers replace their players with lower tier talent, which again shifts everyone up by a lot. So if I can give you a practical example, right now the next season of the Overwatch League is going to start very soon, season two, and currently, we don't know exactly, but there are between 4 and 6 new franchises in the top. Okay.
Okay.
And each of them is obviously going to have at least 6 players, um, plus extra roster like players they can swap out. Maybe they're even going to have academy teams as well, right? So there's going to be like a lot of new slots open for professional play. Okay, and a team right now that places like 7th in the higher end tournaments, like placing 7th in a higher end tournament, like that's really really bad, right? But just imagine the 6 teams that are ahead of them all of a sudden turning into Overwatch League, because at that point they would no longer be competition. Okay, and now they are number one just because they have been in it for long enough. And it is the like exact same thing with Overwatch. Okay, if you are really really serious about like improving and like going pro, you can't just after a year tell yourself, oh darn it, it's been a year, I am still not making any money from this. It is like it's something where you like really have to go at it for like as long as it takes, to be
Okay.
honest. And it is going to take a while. Like I would say, 3 years at least. Like considering that you're currently in diamond, you also have like a lot of catching up to do as well,
Yep.
right? So this is definitely not like a short-term thing that you should be looking for.
It's
Okay,
not.
good. How old are you?
19.
Okay, good. So you're still young enough. Okay. Let's just add 5 years to that. Okay. So obviously just an estimate, right? It could also
Mm-hmm.
be earlier. It really depends on like how much effort you put in. But yeah, no, that is completely fine. Like there are Overwatch pros that are way, way older than like your estimate. So you're like let me say this, like your age is not going to be an issue. That is something you don't really have to worry about. But okay, good. There we go. Now let's go through the rest of the form. The first thing that we need to change, and again, because you said that your aspiration is going pro, that's what all of this is going to be targeted as. Okay, so
Okay.
like if any advice that I give you is going to be targeted towards that. And the first thing is going to be changing your hero pool right now. No offense, is like the worst mess I've ever seen. It is actually so ridiculously garbage. Like
All
it
right.
pains me. How can someone put together 9 characters and still only cover one role? That is actually impressive. That is actually impressive. So what I need you to do
Yep.
is I need you to choose a main role and an off
Okay.
right now.
All right. Main role would be DPS. Off role, off tank.
Okay, what kind of DPS?
Um. Well, I enjoy Genji the most. So. Uh.
So projectile DPS?
Um. Well, I also play like Tracer would be my second most played.
You're not gonna be playing Trace. At least not now.
Okay.
She's garbage.
So yeah,
So you're gonna be
projectile.
the projectile player.
Yep.
Okay. Now, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you do not want to be a Genji pro. You
No.
want to be an Overwatch pro, correct?
Yes.
Good. So that means that you have to change your mindset towards hero pool a little. Okay. So
All
if
right.
you were just some random guy that wanted to reach top 500, then what I would usually recommend is following the 3-1 system, which is 3 characters, 2 roles, and 1 signature. Now, that is for competitive. You have different aspirations, which means the way it works for you is you're just going to be choosing one main role and then like one off pick usually, and you play whatever is going to be meta. Okay.
All
So
right.
right now, as the projectile DPS, the characters that you're going to be playing a lot are definitely not going to be Genji. Sorry, but
It's all
the
right.
current meta just isn't that great. The 2 meta projectile picks are Junkrat and Hanzo.
All right.
Okay, and then you can add an off roll to that, which is, and the point of the off roll isn't for the professional thing. It's just to help you climb a little. So what would like so you said off tank would be your off roll,
Mm-hmm.
and right now the most viable and like strongest off tank is either a Bridget or a Diva.
Okay.
So that would probably be in there. So I guess if we would have to write it down, really what you want to be going for right now are Hanzo, Junkrat, Diva, and Bridget. That is like the most meta hero pool that you can come up with, to be honest.
Okay.
Now the important thing, and again, this is honestly like again, like if you were just playing comp, I wouldn't even say this at all. But since you are a pro, like being a pro means that sometimes you'll have to play stuff that you really do not want to play,
All
right?
right.
So even like with these characters, like maybe you really won't enjoy Bridget, maybe you really won't enjoy Junkrat, okay? But if that's the case, if you can't play a character that you don't enjoy, then you probably don't want to become a pro either, because they don't have a choice. Character is meta, they'll have to play it. Fucking Ryu Jaehong had to play main tank recently because it was necessary for his team. So yeah.
All
Now,
right.
okay, so that's the hero put out of the way. The next thing is time investment, and now we're going to talk a bit about scheduling because scheduling is very important. So I'm going to open up a notepad and we're going to look at what you do. I need you to tell me everything you do inside and outside of the game to reach your goal of going pro.
In just for Overwatch. Okay.
Well, I mean, unless you want to go pro and fucking ping pong as well.
Well, I play probably on average 5 hours a day. And I really only play competitive. I'll warm up and make sure that the computer's not gonna crash or anything. With
Warms up how?
just getting the like, getting accustomed to aim and making sure that the computer isn't
How?
gonna with quick play, and then I'll do one of those, and then I'll just go into comp.
Okay. What else?
I don't use too many other apps. I used Aim Hero for a while because this is my first FPS.
Not just what else regarding like aim stuff. Like what else regarding the general question? What else do you do besides just warming up and playing comp?
Um, guess that's it.
It's always the same, dude. It's actually literally always the same. I've been praying for months that someone is going to say something. Is going to say like the third thing.
Like
Like
watching pros.
there's a trifecta of improvement. Nobody ever gets the third thing, which is very sad. But
Oh,
okay,
watching your own VODs.
watching your own VODs.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay, I
so
do
clearly you
that.
haven't mentioned that,
But
which means it doesn't
yeah.
sound like it's a great priority to you, which is bad. I will have to change that. Okay,
Okay.
so first of all, warm up. You're not gonna play quick play. Quick play is for
All right.
fucking losers. Don't do it. You just play death.
Deathmatch.
Deathmatch
Okay.
is much better. Competitive, is that solo queue?
Solo and occasionally duo.
With who?
Um, Former teammates. Former being I was on my
What
college
level of
team.
play? What level are they at?
They're at my level or above, between
Okay.
3.1 and 3.5.
Mm-hmm. Try to not queue with them too much. Okay.
Okay.
You mentioned you play 5 hours a day. How consistent is that? Is that every day?
Yep. Every day.
What about um what about breaks? So you play 5 hours a day? Are there
It's
you're like
not straight most of the time.
okay, so you do take breaks.
Yep. I think the most I'll play in one sitting
Sitting.
is like 2-3 hours.
Okay. And
Yep.
then you take a break.
Mm. Sometimes it's just one game, and I don't feel like playing anymore, so I'll take a break and come back to it later. It just depends.
Okay. Well, then that's good. Now, the last thing is about reviewing, and I'm going to explain it to you. And it's very important that you listen because this is the most important thing. one of the main reasons why VOD reviewing is so important. There are multiple reasons. There are multiple reasons.
Okay.
First, it develops an emotional connection to mistakes. I'm going to explain that in a second. But second of all, the reason why it's so good is because fucking no one does it. Or at least almost no one. Okay? If you
Okay.
were in a room with 100 people, the chances that even one of them VOD reviews, very low. If you're in a room with 1,000 people, maybe you're going to find some. But the amount of people that VOD review is very, very low. But everyone at a high rank either VOD reviews themselves or have someone that VOD reviews for them, coaching. Okay.
Okay.
Overwatch League teams. Okay. Obviously, I can't speak for all of them, but I can talk for New York Excelsior. Their schedule is actually 4 hours of scrims, so playing against other teams, sometimes even only 2 hours, and they have 3 hours of VOD review every single day, where they just sit down in a circle, they go over previous VODs, and they talk through it. Okay,
All right.
so needless to say, VOD reviewing is pretty important. And the second thing was the emotional connection. So if did you ever watch the Truman Show?
No.
Okay. It's a movie about some guy that has been adopted by a TV company when he was at a young age, and then they made a reality show out of his life. They just put him into like a huge artificial dome with like a society made of actors, and they broadcast him growing up essentially in this fake reality on TV. And it's an island, and one of the ways that they wanted to prevent him from getting off that island, because he would find that there's an edge to the dome eventually, is when he was younger, they would fake the death of his father drowning in the ocean in like a fishing accident. Okay. Um,
Okay.
and the reason they did that was to traumatize him, because they knew that just telling him, "Oh yes, the ocean is very bad. You shouldn't get to the ocean," yada yada yada, he's not going to listen to that. Okay, I mean let's be real, right? A lot of people don't really listen to the like warnings of others, so they had to come up with this dramatic event in order to like build this feeling. And ever since then, whenever he got near water, he would get like panic attacks, and he would just quickly turn around and etc. 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 Now, the same thing is with mistakes in Overwatch as well. Okay, so the biggest lie that players tell themselves is that they don't need to VOD review because they can see all of their mistakes in game. You shouldn't really see your mistakes in game because you should be busy thinking about how you're going to win the next team fight, not why you lost the last one. And B, you really don't get like anywhere near enough information during the game. It's way too hectic. You can't rewind. You can't go over sections. It's just not really the greatest environment to look at your mistakes. And that's the point behind VOD reviews, because going over VODs develops like a feeling of cringe for your mistakes almost, where it's not just where you go past just knowing that you make mistakes, but where you like actually feel embarrassed almost for making those mistakes. And being embarrassed about something is one of the greatest ways to prevent doing something in the future, as a lot of high school kids can probably relate to. Now, here's how you're gonna do it. I'm gonna be like very simple about this. You're just gonna do it like the way that I tell you, because there's not really much changing required. Every 3 days, I want you to sit down and I want you to go over a VOD. That VOD has to be 2 to 3 days old.
Okay.
Okay, not any fresher and not any older. Okay,
Okay.
and you are going. I want to send you something actually. I want to send you something. Message. Let me quickly find it. I'm gonna send you a GIF
Okay.
right here. There we go. It's a large GIF, so it's gonna load a little, but I bet you can manage. Um, Tell me when the GIF has loaded for you.
It has.
Okay, I want you to look at that GIF and I want you to tell me if there's anything interesting, noteworthy that you see. Got anything?
The colors change when it cuts.
Keep watching.
The guy falls before the other guy shoots him, or it looks
Mm,
like it.
no.
No.
It's just the GIF doesn't have any sound, so.
I don't see anything else.
Keep watching. He's doing three things in that scene. If you figure out two of them, you can figure out the third. He's doing three things that all have the exact same purpose.
He wants to be quiet,
Mm-hmm.
so he puts on
What
the
things?
silencer.
Mm-hmm. It's number one.
He catches the body.
Mm-hmm. That's number two. What's number three?
Does he put his hand on the throat to prevent any noise?
No.
No. Okay.
He just does it to check the pulse.
Don't know the third one.
Keep watching. Look at every single motion that he does and ask yourself, why does he do this?
Alright, he's moving really slowly
Well, okay, yeah,
before
obviously he
he
wants to
shoots.
sneak.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously he wants to sneak, yeah. But look at what else he does.
He slides to prevent footsteps.
He slides so that the body doesn't hit the floor before you can catch it. No, that's not it.
Okay.
Mm. It's a very deliberate action that he does.
A hand over the gun.
Okay. Why does he do that?
Catch the casing.
Aha! Why would he want to catch the casing?
Because if the casing falls, it makes noise.
Because if the casing falls, it makes noise. Okay. So that took you around, let's say, 2 minutes to figure out.
Okay.
Okay. 2 minutes to figure out. This video is around, let's say, 10 seconds long, a little shorter, actually. So you needed to watch that GIF like 12 times at least until you figured out the detail. And that's including the fact that A, I told you what you should be looking for. Like I gave you hints. And B, it's only a 9-second clip and not the entire 2-hour movie. Okay.
Okay.
That GIF was the top post on a subreddit called r/movie details, where people just rewatch old movies and they search for small details like this. And that's from the movie Inception. Okay.
Okay.
And someone posted that detail. Okay. After he fires his gun, he tries to catch the bullet casing so that it doesn't make any noise. Okay. Because needless to say, nobody noticed that when they watched the movie. And chances are nobody noticed it the second time they watched the movie either. The third time, probably not either. The person that figured out this detail probably has a lot of like experience and has watched the movie like 50 times until he figured it out. And you didn't need to be like a gun specialist to figure that out. You just needed to watch it multiple times. Okay. Let's say that you wanted to become a pro assassin in real life, and for some fucking reason, you want to learn from, Leonardo DiCaprio movies. Okay, kind of stupid analogy, but just follow along. And you wanted to look at that scene in order to learn from him how to be like a stealthy assassin. Okay, again, I know it sounds stupid, but follow along. And you would spot the first two details. Okay, I need to put on a silencer, and I need to catch the body. Okay, I'm done. I've seen all of the details. So you go on your merry way on your own little stealth mission, but because you didn't watch the VOD often enough, you didn't spot all of the details. Okay, so your bullet casing hits the floor and you end up in the fucking ER. Okay, and then everyone is like, dude, why the fuck didn't you catch the bullet casing? And he's like, well, I'm not a fucking pro assassin. How was I supposed to spot that? Okay,
Okay.
but the thing is, the more often you watch something, the more you're going to start noticing the details that actually matter. And it's the same thing with like these coaching sessions as well. I do not tell my coaches anything that they wouldn't have been able to figure out themselves. I only tell it out to them after the first time that I watched the VOD. Whereas to them it would probably take like 20 times, maybe 50, depending on the rating. Um, so every 3 days you're gonna do a VOD review, 2 to 3 days ahead, old, ideally, and you should watch the VOD at least 3 times back to back. And I would do that on a point per point basis. Okay, so like by point per point, I mean like watching the first point attack, and then the second point attack, and then the third point attack, first point defense, second point defense, third point defense. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So does that make sense? Do you think you can do that?
Yes.
Okay. I need you to take notes.
Okay.
You watch a portion of the VOD, you take notes. You watch the portion of the VOD again, you take notes. You watch the portion of the VOD again, and you take notes. And then you go to the next point, and you do the same thing again. Okay? It is a very lengthy process, but you only do it once every 3 days. Okay? Ideally, before you play the game, so you can immediately implement these things.
Okay.
Those notes, I really recommend you actually write them down, like in a Google Drive or something, because I am going to ask you for those notes potentially as a part of your coachee pass. Because the biggest, the biggest part that's holding you back is probably going to be yourself. And as of late, way too many coaches have been slacking because they were like, it's probably not that important. I can GM without doing it. Needless to say, they didn't, and I just need to make sure that you do it. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Perfect. Now, the meta, meta. Now, so you want to go pro, but when I asked you in the form to put in questions, you didn't even put in any questions. Why is that?
I don't think I know enough to know what to ask questions about.
Shouldn't it be the exact opposite? Okay, it's fine. Don't worry. I get what you mean.
Okay.
Although usually people who don't know a lot are the ones asking questions. Um, okay, I'm gonna open up a Visor real quick. Do you have a Visor account?
Yeah.
Great. It's one of those things. It's kind of like the fucking, I don't know, LinkedIn of Overwatch, where you kind of need to have it eventually, some point in your life. So better to just get it done earlier rather than later. Just let me know when you're in the Visor lobby. And again, if you have any questions, don't be shy.
All right. I'm in.
Okay. That is something that Leonardo DiCaprio would say. So you're learning very quickly. I like it. Okay. Okay, so this is very important. Do you actually play any of the characters that we talked about earlier in this one?
I play Hanzo, and I play
Okay,
Brigitte, and I play Diva.
okay, okay. Well, I'm gonna open up a notepad. I want you to tell me every single character that you play in this mod.
Oh, in this VOD.
Well, yeah, of course, in this one.
Uh, McCree, Genji, and Doomfist.
Do you have another VOD?
Yeah, I have pretty recent one. It's a Twitch VOD.
Even if it's a win, because I just prefer going over like the characters that you're actually gonna be playing. All right, so if you have like any diva VODs, for example, that could be a really good idea.
In this one, I play McCree, Hanzo. McCree and Hanzo.
Okay, yeah, just send me the link. We can go over the Hanzo.
Okay.
Um,
It starts at 50, 15.
Blum?
Um,
Okay, let me copy, paste the Rooney. Test spa, April 29th.
yeah, I have trouble updating the names for the streams.
Yikes.
I just forget to.
Oh my god, okay, you're already feeding it. I'm not even at the 50-minute mark. What's going on? Jump to a random place in the VOD and you're feeding. Advisory is a little slow sometimes with Twitch VODs, so it's gonna take like a few seconds till we reach the place we actually want to review. Because Twitch is
Okay.
Twitch, just do it. K49. Okay, I'm just gonna try to like have it play from right here just to see if it's like gonna load and let me.
Okay.
Okay, can you see the VOD running? How you're like still in queue?
Yeah, we just got into Blizzworld.
Okay, I feel like you might be out of sync with me. Just gonna jump ahead again. If it syncs up. If it doesn't, I'm just gonna screen share in Discord and we're gonna go over the VOD that way. Only problem that we don't have any sound, but I don't think it's gonna be a huge. Okay, in the center it says assemble your team, right?
Yep.
What's the timer on that?
Just hit 0.
Okay, no, okay. I need to call you in Discord and I need to screen share
now it's
because
at
the
2.
delay. 1. Okay, I just paused it. That's why.
Okay.
I'm gonna call you. Screen. For that, I'm actually going to change the resolution of my screen, but it fits for you. There we go. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, I might as well just open the Twitch VOD directly. I don't think I have to have it in a visor. Close. Okay, can you see the VOD?
Yep.
Good. Is it running somewhat smoothly?
Yep.
Good. Also, full screen this. Perfect. Can you see my mouse cursor?
Yeah.
So, at which part of this VOD do you play Hanzo? I mean, I can just look. Actually, I'm dumb. Okay. So the first question that I have is, why did you switch to Hanzo in the first place?
Because I thought the Dragon Ultimate would pair better with Grav than High Noon.
So when do you have the Zarya? Didn't you have a Zarya since spawn?
Yep.
So why didn't you pick Hanzo to begin with?
In case they ran a Pharah, I wanted a hit scan on the team.
Why can't you just play Hanzo against Pharah?
I don't know if I'm good enough.
And you're good enough at McCree?
Probably not.
Okay. What did they change with Hanzo?
Well, arrow speed.
Arrow speed.
Yep.
His arrows fly faster.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that the difference between Hanzo's arrows and hit scan is becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. So new Hanzo, especially with his like whatever it's called, like rapid fire thingy, can kill Thara pretty consistently.
Okay.
So as long as you like somewhat hit your shots, requires a little practice. You have to get used to it. But I wouldn't like go to hit gun. Like a lot of teams right now are actually like even running Hanzo Junkrat, right? Okay, to be fair, most of them do run double sniper, and honestly, no one even runs Farah anymore, so it doesn't really matter. But Hanzo, like, you definitely shouldn't be like, oh, they're gonna just pick Farah, and this game is lost already. Okay. Okay, so the first thing is, as Hanzo, you want to always look for two things. You want to look for long sidelines, and you want to look for off angles with long sightlines. Yeah, you want to search for off angles with long sightlines. Now, what does that mean? Okay, that means that in general, as a sniper, you don't want to take the same angle that your team has, because snipers are weak against two things. Snipers are weak against strafing, and snipers are weak against shields. So I'm actually gonna make a little drawing with paint here. Great drawing. Um, so if this is the enemy, and you're standing down here, okay, the enemy is most likely going to strafe side to side. That's
Okay.
bad for you because the arc in which you need to move your mouse is very large, which means that there's also a lot of area for misplay. Because the more you need to move your mouse, the more you can fuck up moving your mouse. Now, if we stand to the side of him, however, at that point, his strafe doesn't affect us. Okay, and it's going to be much easier for us to hit arrows. Okay.
Okay.
The second thing is long sightlines. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to like draw the map here. So this is like the last checkpoint, and then it kind of goes like this, and then there's the corner that goes around left, very long like this. Okay. Now, let's say the enemy team is playing here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If the enemy team would want to disengage, they would have to take this route all the way down here. Now, why would they want to disengage?
They're losing the team fight.
They're losing the team fight, aka they are probably pretty low HP. So they want to go back and they want to try to regroup. Now, if you position yourself over here, this is not a very long sightline, which means that all the enemy team has to do is just run around this first corner, and they're outside of your LOS. Okay. Now, if instead you position yourself over here, you have a much longer sightline. And at that point, the enemies need to make a choice. Either they walk in a straight line, which is going to make it very easy for them to dodge you, or they walk in a zigzag, which means it's going to be harder for you to hit them, but it's also going to take like twice as long until they make it out. Okay? So you always want to find these very long sightlines that cover the spaces where the enemies escape. Another example that I can give you is on King's Row. Let me see if I can quickly find a picture of King's Row. Maybe here. Um, yeah, this street should do fine. Okay, so this area right here, this is immediately after you capture the first point. Okay, you know about the high ground to the left here. Okay, that for example is like a perfect Hans position, and that's how you figure out if a map is good for snipers or not, because he has the sightline all the way around mid. If the enemies push up to this corner and they decide to disengage, they need to walk all the way back until they leave your LOS. Okay. Now there are also areas that are much. Now King's Row is actually a really good sniper map. But there are also maps like Oasis Gardens, for example. Okay. Let me actually find it if I can find it. Gardens. Yeah, Gardens, for example. Gardens doesn't have any long sideline. Okay. Do you see how like clumped up Gardens is? There are no like very long streets or long stretches of anything. Because it's not a payload map, you don't need a long street for a payload to move along. So this, for example, would be a map where so don't get me wrong, snipers are still strong here, but here you don't get the same sidelines. The only advantage that you have here is you have like two really good high ground positions with like the penis shaped thing here and the window up here. So that's kind of like whenever someone talks about sniper positioning, those are kind of the main things you want to know about. Okay, long sight lines, off angles, and high ground. Okay,
Okay.
so right here, you shouldn't be standing behind your team. Ideally, you should go all the way to the right and try to play from over here so you can start firing shots into the enemy team. Another reason for that is because previously, Hanzo's mobility was bad. He pretty much, I mean, okay, it wasn't bad, but unless he had a wall that he could climb over, he couldn't escape that well, right? He's not a Widowmaker. He didn't have a grappling hook. But since the rework, they gave him the little like leap ability, whatever you call it, and all of a sudden he has mobility, which means you can and should play a lot more aggressive. Because standing over there, sure, with the old Hanzo that would have been risky, but with the new Hanzo you just need to press spacebar and you're gonna leap forward. Okay?
Okay.
So you're positioning yourself like too defensively here. But they aren't really doing anything. So, I mean, this is good for you. Interesting wall climb. Where do you want to set up here?
Mm,
Where do you want to be
where the
ideally?
Zarya is, right? So I can see them coming in.
No, I'm just talking like in general.
Oh,
Like where would you want to set yourself up?
where you pointed out earlier, along
Um,
that long sight line.
yes, but what would be the problem with that position right now?
You, well, I wouldn't really be able to see any of the enemy team.
Yeah.
Since
So what you would want to do here is ideally, okay, so first you kill the Roadhog, which you should ideally, which you could have just done from your team, like he's gonna go out anyways. Okay. You're going to play this corner right here, and you're gonna start spamming arrows as they come into spawn, just hoping that you can get a pick. And once they come in, you want to take the high ground on top of here. Like, do you see this like building here?
Mhm.
You want to get on the high ground that's like directly like attached to it, that's
Okay.
overlooking the street. Because that at that point, the enemies aren't really like, at least from what I see, Bridget, Roadhog, they don't seem to be a comp that's very focused on high ground. And against a comp that isn't focused on high ground is the best thing you can do. By the way, another issue with being behind your team is look at your health bar.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can really heal you because you're behind all of them. They don't even know that you're there. Okay?
Okay.
You do not want your Ana to have to turn around in order to heal you. Okay, this is fine. Oh, no, 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 no. Why was this dragon shit?
I thought we were. I didn't think we were winning the fight, so I thought the ult would.
What made you think that you weren't winning? How did you draw that
Our
conclusion?
Ryan died, or not our Ryan. We traded. Yeah, our Brig died.
So your Ana uses nano boost.
Mm-hmm.
The enemy main tank is dead. And your Bridget died like 2 meters in front of spawn. Do you really think this warrants an ultimate?
Hindsight, no.
No. Not at all. The main tank is the most important part of a team. If the main tank is dead, your chances of winning that particular team fight approach zero very, very, very quickly. And here's why. Tanks are the only characters. So first you need to understand space. Okay, space is simple. Space is any area on the map that is where it's safe to stand in, essentially. Okay, so if we had, let's say we had 3 enemies, 1, 2, 3, like this, and we would have a Reinhardt standing right over here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now in this situation, the area behind him, that would be space. Because if you would stand in this area, the chances of you dying are very, very slim. Okay. Now, a main tank, that is called creating space. Okay. his shield projects space behind him. The area behind that shield, where's my mouse cursor? There it is. The area behind the shield is completely safe. Okay. Now, the second thing that a main tank can do is he can hold space. Okay. So once he has created that space by pushing up, slowly moving his shield further and further forward, because as the Reinhardt starts pushing forward and the enemy team draws back, so does his the space that he creates. It expands as well. Okay. But all of that space needs to be held by something, because what would stop the enemy team from just pushing you back and then all of a sudden you lose all of your, right? We don't really want that. And the main tank does that as well. Just like he needs to stay there with his supports in order to stay alive and hold that space. And the only thing that the DPS have to do is they take that space. Okay, so those are the three things. You create space, you take space, and you hold space. Okay. So as a DPS, it's your responsibility to take space, which means that if you see that your tank is pushing up, you should push up with them. That's pretty much your only responsibility. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if the main tank dies, the only thing that your team has left is taking space. But they cannot create any new space, and they cannot really hold any space. Which means that the enemy team has a main tank, and if one team has a main tank and the other team doesn't have a main tank, then the team with the main tank can just keep pushing up and keep pushing up and keep pushing up, and there's nothing that keeps the other team safe. Which means that they get all the space that they want. The DPS can take control of the entire map, and at that point, you're going to get shot at from like 5 different angles. Okay? And this situation in the VOD right here is that situation. The enemy main tank is dead, which means that your teammates, especially with the nano boosted Reinhardt, can just start pushing forward and forward and forward and forward, creating space. The Ana keeps them alive to hold the space, and you're going to push up with them to take the space. Okay?
Okay.
But instead of just capitalizing on that simple advantage, you decide to go and use your Dragon Strike, which isn't good. Because that time could have been used so much better, just firing arrows, killing people, winning the team fight. But instead you get, picked by Junkrat bombs because you were standing still because you were using your Dragon Strike. Okay? Now, since the enemies don't have a main tank, your teammates might actually win this. Oh, okay, never mind. Your main tank is dead as well. Be clutch. The only thing keeping you alive here is the fact that your spawn is closer. Okay. The angle here is good, though. Using E for shield break is also not a bad idea. Do not get hooked. Oh god, you're so going to get hooked. Okay, you did. I was about to say, why were you standing still? Didn't realize that you were trapped.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Your teammates should be able to do this. Okay, never mind. The roadhog didn't die. It's actually gonna be tough.
They called Junkrat behind.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear what has just been? Listen. Okay, you can't because the sound isn't being shared. Okay. But what did your Zarya just share in chat?
Grav. Almost
Okay, so
ready.
what do you think she just did?
Died?
No. Her Grav was almost ready. What do you think she just did?
Used Grav?
She probably used Grav. Yes, that's what she did. She just called it out.
Okay.
So right over here, there's a Graviton Surge. If only we had an ultimate to throw into that Graviton Surge. Did you see that?
Yep.
Fire at will, then it's right there to the right. But there's no damage to throw into that Grav, which is bad because you probably could have killed like 3 or 4 people in that Graviton Surge alone. But instead, we used our Dragon Strike. The fight pretty much already lost. Which isn't good. Okay, No, Hanzo on attack doesn't really. Okay, Hanzo on attack differs slightly in that until you actually no, he works the exact same time, exact same way. You just push with your tanks; they're gonna create space for you, and then you're gonna use that space once they have taken a good position for you.
Okay.
Why aren't you using your pew pew, your rapid fire? What is that called? Actually, that ability is actually triggering me so hard. I want to know. Did they update it already? No, they didn't. It's just got error. Okay, your weird like rapid fire thing. You need to use that like as often as you can.
Okay.
It's like use it like a not a Hands of Fire Strike, a Reinhardt Fire Strike. So want to throw it out as often as you can, even if it's just to destroy the shield. Do you know how much damage that deals to a shield? You can destroy like a quarter of Reinhardt's shield, like just on your own. Now the next thing, okay. See this I think really showcases like how your target prioritization is off. You see that the enemy Reinhardt in a second, right there.
Yep.
What is the enemy Reinhardt doing?
Charging our Zarya.
Aha. So your number one priority should be what?
Kill the Rhine.
The Rhine. He is the main tank. The enemy main tank is both discarded, charging away from his team into your team, and right next to you. He's discarded. He's gonna get popped really fast. But instead, you keep shooting at the enemy team, and if it weren't for this May wall, you probably wouldn't have even turned around. Okay. Now he does die, which gives you guys like an insanely huge advantage. But you really need to prioritize because that's right now, that's honestly the win condition. Getting the main tank gives you such a huge advantage. Also, you still haven't used your rapid fire. Can you please use your rapid fire? Like, it's not an ability that you want to hold on to. Like, you pretty much want to use it as often as you possibly can. Don't die to that Mara orb. Just climb up to the high ground and like use your rapid fire shit. Kill stuff. Push up, you want high ground. Push up, push up. You just got 2 kills. Why are you pushing around? Go take the high ground before they can take it. Go to the left, go to the left, go to the left. Don't just send in the choke and die to poke, please. Just go to the left. Take the high ground. Thank you. Go even further to the left. Don't just chill here. You can't see anything. Now we're with our team again, okay? So right now, you would have the opportunity to take control of this high ground area. The enemy team doesn't really have anything to deal with high ground. So you could be standing on high ground, being that annoying little mosquito that fucks over their tanks and they can't do anything except turn their shield around and pray that their teammates carry them. But instead you're like chilling down here with your team, not hitting anything. Like with the new Hanzo, you really like don't hard flank, right? I don't want you behind the enemy team. But like you shouldn't always be like exactly with your team either. Okay, just go back, just go back, just go back. Don't get greedy. It really doesn't matter if you kill this. Aww. Why did you try so hard to kill that Mei? I know that you're probably telling yourself, gosh darn it, my aim was so bad. If I would have just hit those shots, then I wouldn't have died. But do you think killing that Mei would have really turned the team fight around?
Probably not.
Yeah, I somehow have my doubts too. But okay, you almost have Grav. You have your Dragon Strike. I swear to God, if you guys do not combine this ultimate, my blood pressure is going to rise. There we go. You guys did it. I'm proud. That's how you do it. Good man. Rapid fire. Ah, please use your rapid fire garbage. You could have done that like way sooner. But okay, your positioning here is good. Like taking that small high ground to cover. That's actually not bad. Nice. There we go. We're using rapid fire. Get to high ground. Get to high ground. Wall climb up. Wall climb up. Don't just stand here. Use your wall climb. It's so much easier to shield over a shield if you're above the shield. Much easier than breaking it. Okay. Because another problem is you guys had to use 2 tank ultimates for this point. Like, you could have easily snowballed the Graviton Surge into this. Do not ult here. I swear to God, if you ult.
I don't.
Good. There we go. Perfect. Just wait until you have another Graviton Surge. And this point shouldn't really be an issue, I hope. Is this a win or a loss, by the way?
We lose.
Okay. Oh, no! Her Graviton Surge was at 60 per... You see, this is actually the most fucking flat mistake imaginable. How do you... I'm gonna ask you a very simple question, and you're gonna feel stupid about me asking you that question, and then you're gonna feel even dumber once you realize that that question is justified.
Okay.
How do you win a game of Overwatch?
Killing the enemy team. Playing the objective.
And that was the most fucking flat answer that you could have given.
Okay.
In what way do kills... Like, is there like a kill counter here? Like that you need to get up to a certain number and then it says victory on the screen?
No.
I think you're talking about the wrong game mode. I'm talking about like competitive. I'm not talking about team deathmatch. How do you win a regular game of Overwatch?
Complete the objective.
Okay. What are you guys doing at the moment? What is your team doing right now?
Completing the objective.
Okay. Ultimates are very, very powerful abilities that can change the state of the game. So, when should you ideally use your ultimates?
When you're at a disadvantage.
Uh-huh. When the enemies are stopping you from pushing the objective. Were the enemies right there stopping you from pushing the objective?
No.
No. They weren't. So in a couple seconds, they're going to stop you from pushing the objective. And your Zarya might even Graviton Surge. And who knows, maybe you guys are even going to win that one team fight. But you wasting your dragon there just means that you like don't really understand like how to win a game of Overwatch. Because that kill wasn't helping your win condition at all. Take the high ground to the top right, don't just stand on card. Okay. At least you guys won that, so that's good. What was I about to say? So yes, if you're playing Hanzo and you have a Zarya, please just hold on to the ultimate. It's really important. The only exception is if you have like a Junkrat or like someone else that can like consistently combo with it.
Okay.
But like in this team comp, actually you do have a Junkrat, so I guess it's fine. But I don't know if you had a Junkrat last round. I've got like my coaching in 14 minutes. Monka S. Well, someone likes being last fucking minute, dude. Oh no. Okay. Well. Wait, so did you record it like... So your session was at 2 p.m., right?
1:30.
Okay. I'm not even sure what I'm going to use. Oh no, dude, someone's not prepared, like, at all. 10k damage is gold. Okay, again. Here's an important lesson. I know that this was your friend, this wasn't... Okay, just to make that clear. Mindset is like a very, very important thing about going pro. And I know that it sounds cliche, but when you talk to a professional player, you know that you're talking to a professional player.
Okay.
Just by like talking to someone, like you're going to very, very quickly notice if they have like what it takes to be a professional player. Now, with you, as of now, you lack the concept. Okay, right now you don't have that mindset yet. Like I can tell you that 100%. And one of the best ways, however, to change that mindset and to get kind of into this high tier mindset is by surrounding yourself with people that also have that very similar mindset. Now, someone called Mad Villain with dots over the L's in all caps lock, telling you that he has 11k damage and a gold medal. Do you think that's the kind of mindset you want to surround yourself with?
No.
Probably not. Okay. You want to surround yourself with people that aren't mad villain, pretty much. Yeah, and like that's actually like exactly what I did as well. Like what I used to be like really toxic, actually. Like back then, I played a bit of League of Legends. I was like decent at it, but I wasn't like pro or anything. And the main thing that was holding me back was my mindset. Like I was kind of an asshole. And the main reason for that is because I was surrounded by assholes, to be honest. I mean, actually, I wasn't. One of my friends was actually like he did have the right mindset, but like the assholeness of the others, like peer pressure and stuff, I just acted like they did, which meant that I completely closed off towards the one person that actually had some common sense in that group. And instead of learning from him, I was young and no Squarespace. I don't want to improve my SEO strategy. Thank you. And I didn't really learn from that. But then when I started Overwatch, I left that old group of friends. Like I didn't leave them behind, but like um, I left most of them behind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I met a new person because when the game launched, I founded a small team, and that person actually got to rank 80 in season 1. And in case you don't know about season 1, that's a very high rating. That's like
Oh,
4,500 skill rating.
I
It's a
played
very very
season
high
one.
skill rating. Yeah, so you would know that 80 is like a number that is quite respected in the first season.
Yep.
Um, and so I pretty much only exclusively played with him, like not even in a boosting kind of way, but just like in a general way. And like we still talk today. Actually, he DM'd me right now. He wants to play shit. Um, and like he has that high tier mindset. Obviously, that's why he was rank 80, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just by like talking to him and by like taking all of those negative people like out of my social circle, like that's why I'm a coach now. Pretty much, like that's why I have this kind of mindset now. And it's very important that you always try to do the same thing, right? Now you're probably wondering, well, Stux, how the fuck am I, the shitty ass diamond player, supposed to surround myself with high tier players? Okay. And step one is going to try to minimize interaction with people like Mad Villain as much as possible. And instead watching streams. And this is actually very interesting because a lot of people think that the reason watching streams is so good is because you learn from them. But let's not kid ourselves. When you're watching a stream, you're not sitting there ticking. Okay. People are just watching streams because they like to see people frag out and they like to tell themselves that they're actually putting effort into improving, even though they're not. The main reason why watching streams is really good is because it gets you into that like high tier mindset. Okay. And I think like the two best examples for these kinds of streamers would be Emong and Seagull, because
I
they
like
talk a lot
Seagull.
and they have that kind of mindset. Okay. So try to like watch those kinds of streamers that are just like very talkative and that have this like very professional mindset, essentially, and try to kind of adapt to that. Look at how they react to situations, because if you watch them all day, eventually you're going to start developing cringe for like your own mindset. You're going to be like, oh Jesus Christ, well, is that really like how I reacted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I see this garbage in chat, right, like what Matt Villain typed, like I actually feel like dread, like I actually feel cringe. It's like embarrassing to me for me to even see that, because all of the people that I know, they would never do that. Like that's like childish garbage, like saying, oh look, I have gold medals. Okay. Or at least when they do it, I know that they just do it like sarcastically or just for fun, right? But I know that Mad Villain doesn't do this for fun. He's actually trying to justify something. He's trying to prove a point. He's taking it serious, which is laughable. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, if his message doesn't seem cringeworthy to you yet, then you want to surround yourself with better people so that one day you can look back on him telling you that, so that you can experience what I am experiencing. And that's going to be like a very big part, because that is the only mindset that like a professional environment in video games is ridiculously rough, because you're working with teammates that have insanely huge egos. I mean, why wouldn't they? They're like what, 18, 19, like your age, and they're like one of the best players, like they're some of the best players in the world. Of course they're going to have an ego, and in order to keep that ego in check, they need like harsh coaches and staff and everything in order to keep them in check that they don't get like too cocky. Okay. Um, and like it's going to be very, very rough. And like honestly, like the start of it is actually the most difficult. And most people that I know, actually everyone that I know that like reached a high rating because he did like the VOD reviews and everything, the only reason that they failed going any further than that was either because A, after they reached high ranking, they realized that this isn't what they want to do after all, and they just threw the towel. They don't want to go pro anymore, like because they don't want to play at that level of play. It's too stressful for them, or because they didn't have the right mindset. They had the mindset to get to a high skill rating, but they didn't have the mindset to like actually join a team. Okay. And I want to make sure that you don't turn into that person. Okay. VOD reviews get you to like a high level of play, and like surrounding yourself with people that aren't fucking idiots telling you about how like 11k damage is gold. That's what like is actually going to turn you, or like is actually going to allow you to work in a professional environment. Okay. You went to high ground too late here. You're not using your rapid fire shit. Now you're using it a little too long. Again, you want to, the earlier you use your abilities, the earlier you're going to get them back. Do not wait.
Okay.
But okay, this first fight is kind of free. There are active abilities and there are passive abilities. Active abilities are abilities you pretty much want to use on cooldown, like Fire Strike or Scatter Arrow or Ana's Nade. Like as soon as you get an opportunity, you want to use it. Or Zarya bubbles, I think, are the best example. You want to use them pretty much like as soon as you can, so that you stay with a lot of energy. And then you have passive abilities, which are abilities like Ana's Sleep Dart or no idea, Reinhardt's Charge. Um, what else is there?
Reflect.
Deflect, Recall, Wraith Form, those kind of escape abilities. Exactly, those are passive abilities. And Hanzo has pretty much only active abilities. Like you want to use Recon pretty much as soon as they push in. You want to use your rapid fire shit as soon as you see something. Rapid fire. Rapid fire. Why would you use your ultimate before you use your rapid fire arrows?
Don't know.
Like A, the team fight was very, very winnable if instead of getting distracted by the tracer so hard and holding like if you just like don't get distracted, don't take 10 years to use your I still don't want to improve my SEO strategy. Use your rapid fire as often as you can and stop wasting. You have a graviton surge. You almost exclusively want to use it with a graviton surge. It's you can just lose this fight and then like win the next one with graviton surge. Like there's no reason to like hold on to it. Rapid fire. Rapid fire. Thank you. Why does that always take like 3 seconds? If there's an enemy in front of you and you have rapid fire, maybe you want to rapid fire.
I think I die here.
Also, you have your leap ability, by the way. Why aren't you like using it? You do know that you can leap now, right?
Yeah, I know.
Why didn't you use it like at all?
I don't think I'm used to using it.
Like right here, use it like for like that little bit of extra distance. Like all you have to do is get outside of his zap range, but you're not using the leap. Honestly, you probably could have leapt twice there. So yeah, you dying there was just you not using like your character's kit to its fullest. Like Hanzo's like leap, the leap that they gave him. What is that called? There's a word for it, like urge something. What do you call that? Do you know what that space thing is called?
Oh, the actual ability name?
Yeah.
I think it is leap.
Huh. I
But
feel like there's a word that rhymes with urge, but I don't know. Okay, you again like this dragon wasn't really wait for graviton surge. Like ideally, you really want to be like as Hanzo in this current meta, you need to be very disciplined when you have a Zarya.
okay.
Okay. The only times, okay, so the only time where you want to use your dragon without the graviton surge is if you get your dragon and the graviton surge isn't even at 50%.
I
Or
think
the
he had
percentage changes. the percentage changes based on like how good you think you are. He's even your pre-made. I just noticed that. Why are you duo queuing with him if you aren't even combining ultimates? Literally, the only reason you duo queue with him is so that he can tell you what gold damage is. He is telling you, the DPS player of the team, by the way, I have gold damage. It's at 11k. Do you not think that that's an asshole thing to do? Jesus. Do I... This is like one of those bad horror flicks. Like, he's called Mad Villain and you still decide to queue with him. Like, I don't know, something about him tells me that he's not on the right path. He's feeding... Rapid fire. Just to break the shield. Just use it. You're still holding it. You're still holding your rapid fire. Just use it to destroy the shield. You would have had it back by now if you would have just used it. Like, it's not an ability you should hold on to for, like, anything. Now we use rapid fire. And we, like, waste all of it, apparently? What are you doing?
They called soldier sleeping up top.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, no, that's fair. I didn't hear that. Ooh, nice shots. Rapid fire. Rapid fire. Rapid fire, dude! Why did they even give you that ability? You're not gonna use it. I think you're underestimating how strong it is. You literally want to press that button. It deals so much damage. Even if you don't get a kill with it, like, it's gonna take the enemies a long time to recover from its damage. Just use it to break the shield. Please, do you know how much damage it deals to shields? Come on. Go to high ground, left side, please. Thank you. Yeah, this is a good position. This is an amazing position, not gonna lie. Actually, impossible to get into a better position than this. Rapid fire. Yes, we're gonna use that ability still. We're just gonna stand up there shooting our regular arrows. Blizzard might as well have not reworked him at all, I guess. We don't use his new abilities at all. We're just playing him like the old Hanzo. I bet if they would have reworked his ultimate, you would have never used his ultimate either. Just sit there, doing nothing. Like, oh, I have an ultimate, I don't know how to use it. It's gonna chill. It's so broken. Just think about it. The next 6 arrows that you fire, okay, they do not need to be charged up. Like, sure, they don't deal like the full damage either, but it's 6 arrows you can just tap, 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 tap. Press the button. Even if it's like just to break the shield. If you break the shield, that means your teammates don't have to do it. Do you notice how you still haven't used the ability? Still not pressing E. We're just slowly firing arrows. You know, who needs damage output? Slowly holding down left click. Okay, it's been like 20 seconds. We still haven't used it. See, are you going to use it? No, you're not even going to use it when you're 1v1ing a soldier. Apparently, even then, it's not a good idea to use that ability. You know, we're just going to slowly charge our arrows. Okay, it's been like, what, 40 seconds since you've used it? Okay, let's see if you're actually... I'm actually going to fucking die of laughter if you do not use it for the rest of this game. Please, just use it at least once. Just use it once. I'm still not looking to improve my SEO. What the fuck? What do they send me that 3 times? Okay. There we go. That's a good dragon. Are we going to use the ability? You have 20 more seconds. Is he going to use it?
We still lost the team fight.
Are we going to use the rapid fire?
Nope.
Oh my god, is this game actually going to end without you using it for over 90 seconds? I swear to god, please just run out of spawn and use it. Please just use it for something. Press E. Please. Just go in there. Rapid fire. Go teammates, stall. Give him the chance to like not look completely stupid. Please. Use rapid fire. Just use it. Please. There's a shield. There's like a Bridget. You could be shooting arrows into them. Why are we still not using it? Oh, we use it! Oh, God bless, dude. The fucking Holy Spirit has been invoked or something. You actually used your ability after like what? 2 fucking
2 minutes at least.
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
this is on.
A soldier in front
I
of you. Why
mess
would
up.
we use a rapid fire? No, you know, rapid fire. That's not an ability we want here. We're just gonna. Did you know that Reinhardt barriers can't get healed up, which means that during Transcendence, you should focus all of your damage into the barrier so that the enemy team doesn't have any protection after the Transcendence ends. But, you know, a certain ability that could help us with breaking that barrier has not been used. So, quite unfortunate. Dude, I'm so done, actually. One day, you're gonna go over this VOD again, like, by yourself, and you're going to, like, play. You're gonna start writing your suicide note or something. You're gonna get depressed. Do you have any questions?
Um, no, I don't. Should I have questions?
I don't know. I'm asking you. If you don't have any, then I'm just gonna say it. You don't have one. Okay, well, if you don't have any, then I guess you can go to this page and write a review. And I'm gonna go through all of my DMs that I've been getting doing this stuff. And yeah, if you have any questions, just send them to me. Okay.
Okay. All right.
See ya.